Three-wall ball outdoor world championships here on a Friday. My name is Dave Vincent, alongside Dave Fink for this men's finals of the small ball outdoor three-wall division. Dave, you played in this bracket. It's much more brutal than I think the fans would even recognize. Tell us about what your experience has been so far here in Las Vegas.
This is the first the fans have seen of our live broadcast, but these guys have gone through 4 or 5 rounds to get to this final. And the conditions, although very good by Las Vegas standards, are very difficult out here. Sun beating down, probably 85 to 95 degrees on the court. And there's a lot of running in this game, as you'll see, a lot more than these players are used to doing in four-wall, because you're stretched out sometimes 10 feet outside the sideline. These courts are 23 feet wide, 42.5 feet long. And you really have to use your legs a lot in this game to keep yourself alive. But Shorty Ruiz and Sean Lenning have both looked very good thus far in this event. Shorty Ruiz maintained his perfect record against Dave Chapman, blowing out Chapman in the semifinals. After yesterday's performance, Dave Chapman defeating Billy O'Donnell and Abe Montillo. A lot of people had him as the favorite to come out on top here today, but Shorty Ruiz beat him badly, just as he did in 2011 on that court. And it was Sean Lenning who got off to a slow start against Danos Cordova yesterday in the quarterfinals last night. Came back and won that one in a tiebreaker and just never took it out of cruise control against Vic Perez this morning. Almost looked like a practice match. Sean made it look so easy.
Taking a look at Shorty Ruiz, it was yesterday when he defeated Matt Heiber by the score of 15-2, and then he got past Luis Cordova. We felt that was going to be one of the marquee matches of the tournament, but he slipped past Cordova 15-7, 15-11.
Shorty took control of that match early, went up 13-2. Really nothing Luis could have done, but Luis is always battling. He got some momentum at the end of that first game and took it into the second game. Was tied at 11 with Shorty and just was unable to stay with Shorty for those last 4 points. And this morning, Shorty looked about as good as we've ever seen him, Dave. He's playing in his 7th three-wall ball here this year. He's missed just one. He won the inaugural three-wall ball, small ball singles, and he'll be going for his 3rd. In fact, he's the only player to have won more than one three-wall ball, three-wall, small ball singles titles, and he'll be trying to make it 3 here today. Sean Lenning has also won one, believe it or not, only one. You know how great Sean's been in Toledo at the USHA three-wall nationals, where he's won 9. Here, though, hasn't been as dominant. Won here in 2015, defeated Luis Moreno in the final there. And he's lost to Shorty in the final of this event, 2013. They haven't played a lot out here on these courts.
It seems like they play every year, though, but it's just been a while.
No, they really haven't, though. And either Sean has lost early or Shorty's lost early. They're usually on opposite sides of the bracket and just haven't met up. So this is going to be a very, very good match. And going by what we saw this morning, hard to tell with Sean Lenning. He kind of plays just only as hard as he needs to play to win. Shorty seemed like he was out for revenge against Chapman.
Yeah.
But he'd never lost him. I think he takes a lot of pride in being undefeated against Chapman, and I think, Dave, he's the only person on the planet that's undefeated against Chapman, unless you consider some of these old guys that say, I beat him when I was 6 and never let him play me again. But as far as on the, the pro level, there's no one that's never lost to Chapman. And Shorty now 3-0. And Chapman looked very good. Dave, I know you watched him last night, taking apart Billy O'Donnell, who I thought was a favorite potentially to win this tournament. And Chapman will now focus on the rest of his X-Fest events. He's in 4 here. And for those who don't know, this is the 3rd X-Fest, crowning the ultimate crossover champion in handball, taking three-wall, small ball, three-wall, big ball, one-wall, small ball, and one-wall, big ball, all singles, and you count your best 3 events. And these are 2 of the favorites to take home the X-Fest.
Doesn't it seem, though, that these 2 are always the 2 that you talk about the most? You throw in Samson Hernandez, and as I cut you off, you're going to bring up Timothy Gonzalez winning the
Timbo's
year.
Our defending champion. He won last summer, and he hasn't even started yet here. So these guys have already gone through 4 rounds, and Timbo is just chilling, I guess you would say. I know he's very successful in the casino, Dave.
Not very successful at the Stratosphere pool.
No, he had a hard time there.
Timothy Gonzalez, if you haven't heard, was, I guess, it wasn't really, it was more of a friendly bet where a lot of his buddies were up there, and he said that he can swim across that pool. Now, it's one of the biggest pools, you know, west of the Mississippi.
Right.
He said that he can swim all the way across. He was almost there, about 8
underwater,
feet. Underwater,
yeah.
Holding his breath from one side to the next. And he was almost to the other side, and all of a sudden he just stopped. Everyone thought that he was just showing off, but the reality was he sort of passed out underwater.
Well, some skeptics would say that he passed out in order to not pay off the bet. I'm not a skeptic. I know there are some out there.
Well, you're not a skeptical person.
No.
Waiting for the referee to turn on his microphone here.
A referee had a great event here, Dave. Abraham Montijo upsetting Mondo Ortiz, who's another guy who was on your short list of X-Fest contenders. He'll have to make his hay in the big ball brackets now.
Trying to tell the referee it's time to get going here. Referee trying to say that the match supposed to start at 2:15, but it's actually a 2 o'clock match.
Right.
Referee's just a little off on his time here. Stratosphere Hotel Casino yesterday, where there was a lot of wind out here, and it was indicative of some of the results, I believe, that we saw. Everyone seemed to be kind of, yesterday was like an upset day. In this bracket, you were talking about how difficult it is in X-Fest. I mean, we saw, you know, most of the time when you see these 50-50 matches, it might lean toward maybe the favorite, the higher seed. Yesterday, you could have just thrown a dart at a dartboard and seen a different winner than you expected.
Well, we saw 4 of the top 8 seeds go out in the round of 16 yesterday, which is very unusual. Shorty Ruiz and Sean Lenning both live in Tucson. Sean now kind of out of Tucson, I think, but they do play quite a bit in Tucson. Very familiar with each other. They don't play each other outside, though. All the play in Tucson is indoors. And there's absolutely no outdoor small ball in Tucson.
All right.
Here's our referee, Abraham Montijo.
All right, small ball open finals between Sean Lenning and Shorty Ruiz. Gains to 15, 0-0.
And
Oh,
Sean,
that's a terrible way to start. But then again, the walls aren't always true, and I think that ball came right back into him.
no, that was not the wall's fault.
Zeros.
That would have been a hard serve to return, too. And Shorty.
That's going to be another side out. Now, explain the rule here really quick for those just tuning in. There's no 2-wall serves, right, Dave? And quadrant serving after the first serve.
Your first serve is open. You do not have to tell your opponent where you're serving on the first one. Now, Sean served there to the left side. He should get this point, and he does.
Point.
Now, Sean will have to go to the right, so Shorty will be lined up there on the right side.
And you can't use two walls.
Right. And a short serve is the same as hitting the ball into the ground.
Do you find it just, oh, that is unbelievable. That ball looked like it hit Shorty.
Oh, and this is already not the same Shorty we saw in the semifinals. I don't think he made one error. He's already got 2 errors here.
Dave, do you find it when you're playing and you are forced into your quadrant, and as a return of serve dude,
side out,
I want to be knowing that my server is going to serve to me in the certain quadrant. But but
0-2.
Did you find out that does it make much difference because the serves are so good out here?
No, it makes a big difference. That was behind the back. No, a huge difference. I found that I served a lot of my first serves to the right yesterday with a hop away. And my next one had to go to the left. I felt like I couldn't win one rally when he was standing in the quadrant.
1-2.
You see Sean Lenning wincing when he took that overhand shot there. The ball dug out from the ground. Sean misses it there, and there's the first point for Shorty Ruiz.
I believe the second.
Boy, we've already seen two faults.
Right.
What would normally be a double fault. 2 balls over the roof, maybe 3.
Short ball.
Another fault.
But it's not that uncommon here. We saw yesterday at game point in overtime in my match 4 double faults on match point.
You find that you get a little nervous in there on the match point?
No, I wasn't. It just it happens for some reason. But I was doing that all match, so it wasn't just on. And that's already 3 lost balls,
Point.
Dave.
I thought that ball hit the side wall when Sean served. It must have
One
been.
left. 3-2.
Wow.
Point.
Sean throws out a reverse. Shorty's going to go and cut that ball off. We saw that strategy with Dave Chapman earlier today
Yeah.
against
4-2.
Shorty, playing up as close as possible.
Well, Dave couldn't return Shorty's serve. He had to do something. He started taking it out of the air, and that was out.
Outside.
Sean's going to appeal this, and that was
That's
out.
good serve. Take 2.
Oh,
Wow.
he's not going to give him the point.
I'm not so
My
sure
bad.
about that. I thought that was out.
I'm going to go with him. He's on the line.
Then what's the point of having 2?
My fault. I called it too soon. I should have let him call it. Okay? Right serve. 2 serves.
I don't think you should ask the
Ready?
line judge
4-2.
on the left about a call on the right line.
Uh-oh. That's too long.
It's good. Point.
Wow.
Outside the line, bro.
I thought it hit line.
Think
Feeling?
everything. Don't think. Be sure.
I saw it hit line.
You just said you thought.
I saw it hit line.
Now,
Okay?
these guys are
Deal.
doubles
I saw it hit
partners
line.
and travel partners.
One agree.
Abraham Montijo.
I saw it hit the line.
Shorty Ruiz.
Okay, both agree.
Line
It's a
good
point.
on the serve? Deep line?
It is.
Okay.
5-2.
The middle line is also good.
I like that rule.
Yeah.
I mean, these lines are painted
Side out.
bright yellow. They're wide. It's
Yeah.
pretty easy to see. Although
2-5.
you've already seen a couple discussions. Might not be as easy as we think. That's a nice little reverse.
Great return.
One thing
Side
I
out.
saw that Shorty was doing early against Dave Chapman was reversing and naturaling these hop serves deep
5-2.
in the court.
Hold
deep on the deep line.
That's the best serve. And believe it or not, it's hard to go in there
5-2.
and
fly
hit that
those,
serve
right?
deep.
if it's
And the serve is really the X factor, Dave, in these matches, because you saw Dave Chapman really couldn't trouble Shorty with his serve, and Shorty's got that beautiful underhand paddle re-kill. And Shorty had the pressure on Dave on every serve. And you can't win when you're under pressure and you're not able to
2-5.
apply the same pressure. You know that, Dave, being a great server that
Side
you
out.
are.
Shorty trying to reverse that so much that he tops it. Ball doesn't even make it 2 feet
5-2.
after it hit the front wall. 5-2 is the score here. Jammed. Both of these guys are just hopping the heck out of this ball.
And Dave, you remember
Point.
when Sean Lenning won this event in 2015, he aced Luis Moreno off the court, one of the quickest, best returners in the game, and that was before we used quadrant serving. And Luis just couldn't return the ball. I mean, the hops were too much. They were
Going right.
going both ways out of the court.
6-2.
And now you see even with Sean serving into the quadrant, still difficult to return as Shorty hits one
Point.
onto the Las Vegas Strip.
That was a Waveland Avenue.
I think that
Shot.
is now aboard the deuce.
7-2.
I know, Dave, you've taken the deuce up and down the strip as you head up to the Bellagio.
Only so I can tell the story that I took it. Didn't really want to take it.
Side out.
Shorty gets a plum up in the front court, puts it away.
2-7.
Psychologically, Dave, it's very difficult when you've hit your best serve and it comes back. Even if it doesn't come back with a lot on it,
Point.
just knowing that it is coming back, maybe that's the reason we're not seeing Shorty serving as well. Shorty
Point left.
expended a lot of energy in that win against Dave Chapman, I
3-7.
believe physically and emotionally.
Well, he's catching a cold.
Oh, okay.
And when you talk to him, you can see that it seems like he has tons of energy that's left his body because he's not the same Shorty. You know, the weather out here, it plays tricks on you because it's difficult with the heat, and then you're in
great
air
shot.
conditioning blowing
Side
right
out.
into your lungs, and then you end up getting these strange colds. You're not
Oh.
sure if it's the flu or if it's just some type of lung infection or whatever it is. But he's allergic like you are, and I too. Smoke. You know, going to
yeah.
one of these
Serve,
casinos, it
7-3.
doesn't take long for you to say, I don't really like standing in here. I've been out in the nice air all day.
Yeah.
And he's
Point.
just all out of sorts now.
Well, I believe a lot of this has to do with Sean's game. I mean, his serve will take you out of your groove before you even touch the ball.
8-3.
It's hard to just return Sean's serve, and I saw
Side out.
Vic Perez, who returned exceptionally well last night against Eric Torres, had no answers for Sean's serve today. Barely could return the ball.
3-8.
Shorty's doing a little bit better, but still
Point.
not much better. He trails just by 4 points, though. Sean Lenning decimated the field in Toledo 3 weeks ago, again. There's another error for Sean.
Point.
Dave, we see so many more errors, unforced errors, in this game
5-8.
in particular than any game I've seen in handball.
Smart shot from Shorty.
But Sean rips it right down the line.
Sean's
Side out.
a cerebral player anyway,
Yes.
but that just makes him even better
8-5.
out here on these courts.
Yeah. You can use a lot of creativity on these courts.
That ball was launched back here,
Point.
almost near our broadcast booth.
Shorty's going to have to cut
9-5.
down on the unforced errors here. Wow, what a shot.
Side out.
Sean took a chance there and went just past the short line, and Shorty
5-9.
comes in with a punch fist kill. Oh my gosh. Oh, wow. Oh, and Shorty wins the rally.
Point.
Sean with his second behind the back return. And he hit that one hard.
Going
Dave.
left.
He hit that behind the back shot harder than most people hit
6-9.
a regular shot.
Now 7-9.
Point.
Sean loaded up and crushed that return. A hard overhand right, and Shorty was there with a short swing.
7-9.
That's
Feels
where
like that ball's broken.
Broken
That's
ball.
where he
It
gets
is.
his nickname. A lot of
Right.
people think it's
I did,
because of
man.
his
Missed it.
height, but
No.
it isn't about that. It's about
No.
that short swing he has.
Right.
When they were picking nicknames, they said, should we call it Sweet Shorty or just Shorty?
Yeah,
They opted with the
Replay.
Shorty, but they could have
7-9.
said that was a sweet short swing.
right.
Wow, that is an amazing reverse right there. Nothing Sean can do, and I don't think anybody could have.
8-9.
And that reverse kind of sat up
Side out.
on a tee. Gave Sean a big swing.
9-8.
And you see now, Dave, Sean really starting to move. You
Point.
saw that footwork there from Sean Lenning, who's known as a flat-footed guy, but when he needs to move, he's got some wheels.
Going left. Going left.
And Sean
10,
senses
8.
when he needs to turn up the heat, and I think he sees that right now is the time. Shorty's gotten himself back into this game. Oh, what a shot.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Side out.
Sean putting it all out there. Lenning is our current three-wall national champion, 10 times removed.
Open serve. 8-10.
Widely regarded as one of the greatest outdoor three-wall
Yes.
players of all time.
Yes.
Point.
Thought Sean was going to call a timeout.
First timeout. Sean. Score is 9-10. 1 minute.
But, you know, taking that long run from left to right, diving out of the court there,
Yeah.
it affected him for that point afterwards. And he says, you know what, I need to let the heart rate cool down just a bit, give
Well,
the lungs some air.
Sean had called a timeout 2 points prior, but the ball had gone into the other court, and it gave him enough time, and he decided he wouldn't take it at that point. So
This is the three-wall ball outdoor world championships of 2017 at the Stratosphere Hotel Tower Casino, where they have a parking lot across the street, normally used for special events. Sometimes motorhome parking is allowed out here. And for this brief 2 weeks or so, we celebrate racquetball, handball, and paddleball out here. I want to thank the Stratosphere staff for allowing us to steal some of their space for these 2 weeks as we construct, what is it, 22, 23?
21 courts.
21 courts plus the 2 back courts so that we built with World Outdoor Racquetball. When I say we, I'm talking about the world players of handball alongside three-wall ball, Mike Coulter and Soda Man. I want to thank
Okay,
Pro
going back
Kinetics
in. Going right.
and all of the sponsors.
9-10.
When you talk about Sean's
Short ball.
proficiency in three-wall, long wall, where he's got 9 national titles, but Shorty, I think, is more comfortable on these courts. He actually built
10,
these
9.
courts. He
That's
got here
true.
8 days ago and built these courts.
Outside.
Following the timeout, 2 straight
Yell it out.
Missed
Straight
serves.
faults, yeah.
9-10.
Yeah, I said that the last time Shorty
Screen ball.
hit the bottom board is when he was doing it with a nail and a hammer. And it
9-10.
might not be as too far-fetched as you think.
And Shorty would be upset with himself
Slide
there.
out.
So he had a good look to tie this game and just left it up.
10-9.
Not a good shot there from Shorty, and Sean makes him pay.
Point.
Talked to your good friend earlier today, Dave, Joe Berman, who said if you go for a kill, 33% of the time it's going to work. The other two options are either a miss or they're going to have a re-kill. And that's what we've seen from Shorty in these last two rallies. Goes for the kill, leaves it up,
11-9.
and he's out of the point.
Another fault.
Side out.
Now, Dave, my scorecard's unofficial. Of course, Gene Casimoto Castro
9-11.
has the official card, but I've got Sean with 7 faults right now.
I have 11 total between the two.
Yeah.
Point.
And I expect that number to go up because these guys are so proficient that they're going for shots that are the most impossible shot for you to
10-11.
get, and that would be getting the ball just over the short line after hitting a deep serve. So you're going to see a lot of these crazy faults, and that ball just snapped in half.
Wow.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
No. Only time I saw that was in a paddle against the hands match. I mean, imagine what they did with Roy Hobbs, Dave, when he shredded a ball.
Well, they wrote headlines about him.
Right.
In handball circles,
Replaying.
people shake their
10,
head and
11.
they're mad and they send hate mail. It's a wonderful sport.
Outside.
It takes a lot of power to punch the ball out from 42
Point.
feet.
11-11. Point.
And Shorty now with his first lead in this match.
12-11.
Now, Shorty scoring his 13th point, going to 15. You have to win by 2 out here. That makes it more interesting as well.
And we saw some overtime games
13-11.
yesterday.
Point.
Looks like Sean's trying to hit
Game
the return
point, serving
between
11.
behind the back.
This could be it.
And
And it is.
First
Wow.
game. 3 minutes.
Shorty Ruiz taking down Sean Lenning there. Dave, do you want to take a break or do you want to stay here?
No, let's stay.
Let's stay and talk. This is a rare thing. Let's talk a little bit about that Canelo fight the other night.
Oh, let's not. That was a travesty.
Canelo-
A disgrace.
Against Triple G.
Right.
And to
Thanks
me,
for the invite to your party, by the way.
thanks for the invite to yours.
One
but-
of us is not being sarcastic. That's the thing.
Let me try to think of who that is. But let's go back to the fight instead of
Okay,
us.
Sure.
Or maybe let's talk about our fight that we're having right now. Triple G looked to me, it appeared to me that he won that fight,
Right.
and Canelo comes in and gets the split decision draw.
Right.
Do you agree with the outcome?
I do not. No.
How did you see the score?
8-4 for Triple G.
That's that disparaging?
I don't think it's that. I mean, 8 rounds to 4. You know, I thought Triple G
Yeah,
won.
no, but that's pretty disparaging. I mean, that's 8-4, yet it's a draw in the judge's
Right,
eyes.
Yeah. Well, one judge had it
18-14.
Well, that was, that judge filled out that card long before she got to the arena that
Okay.
night. So let's disregard that. But one judge did have it for Triple G 7-5, 115-113, and then the other judge had it a draw, which I didn't see. 7-5 would have been the best I could have seen for Canelo. He took rounds 3-9 pretty much off.
Was there ever a time in boxing where when the judges split like that, they would go to the referee?
The referee used to be a judge.
And so what happened to that? They don't do that anymore.
Well, the referee was the third scorer.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, so, but now they have, what I don't understand is why wouldn't you have former boxers and trainers be the judge? Wouldn't they know the sport better than a state employee? In my opinion, they would. I mean,
Yeah.
how are you going to how are you going to have someone judge something that's never thrown a punch, never taken a
But
punch?
why not also put the score out in boxing immediately so we can see it in real time, as opposed to the secret ballot situation where it makes you feel like it's a rigged Olympic?
Well, the WBC has tried that, and they have posted scores in some of their title fights after 8 rounds, but the argument is they feel like that would be dangerous for fighters who would sense it or see that they were behind and then start going for the knockout and expose themselves to then being knocked out. I don't see that argument. But a lot of what happens in boxing is kind of the allure of it. What you don't like about it is what attracts you to it. You know, why aren't the best people fighting each other? Why does it take 3 years for the best people to finally fight? You know, it's all these kind of, why can't this guy get a fight? You know, they're afraid of him, and it's unfortunate.
I felt the most unfortunate thing of that whole night was that the ink wasn't even dry on the winner's name, and they're already talking about a rematch.
Right.
That part it didn't settle well with me. That seemed like that was a setup, and I know that you love the sport and you don't like the setup talk,
but it's true though. But I'm not blind. I mean, you look at Canelo's last fight against Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. They already had the contract written and signed for Canelo to fight Triple G in September. So the outcome of the Chavez Jr. fight was already predetermined because Triple G was sitting in the back room waiting to be announced to come out as his next opponent.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, that's
all right. Game 2, 0-0.
We're at 0-0. Game number 2. Nice huge hook right there from Shorty Ruiz, who wins game number 1. Playing pretty close there to Sean. Sean thought he threw him out the side door there. Didn't do it. This one does.
And Sean is using his left a lot more than we saw in the second half of the Race for 8 season. Swinging out on the ball. And that's an amazing serve.
But let's not forget, Sean has a pretty messed up right shoulder. And I saw him wince in pain on his first rally of this final with that right shoulder.
1-0.
When you have that shoulder problem, those tomahawk shots with the fist are the ones that hurt the most, and that's the shot he went for there. That's a good
love
shot.
that shot. It takes a lot of strength.
Side out.
Right.
That was unbelievable right there from Ruiz.
Sean slapping 5 here between points to some fans that have come out to watch him, and that's out.
Outside.
Now remember, Sean led early in that first game. He led midway through. It seemed like he was in control. He led it 9-5, then 11-8, and didn't score again.
Yeah, it looked like he was in control.
Side out. 0-1.
I can remember Sean saying when he won here in 2015, I didn't think I'd ever win this, which surprised me, Dave, because I would think he would win this every year.
Yeah.
You know, if not win it, come close to winning it every year.
1-0.
Well, just based off the fact that he's so cerebral anyway.
But this just seems like the perfect game for him.
Side out.
That was a beautiful shot.
Oh,
Shorty putting spin on that with a slicing fist shot. It catches that front wall after darting off that upper left wall and shoots out of the court.
Looked like he would have no chance to return that serve, and he turns it into a winner.
That was one of those slicing fist shots. I
0-1.
love those. A lot of spin on the ball. Huge hook.
Yeah. And that was a natural. He's been hitting a lot of reverses. That one jumped away from Sean.
1-1.
Smart shot.
Wouldn't it be great if Handball had one of those little trackers that would show what the percentage, who is winning the rally, so to speak. You can see where sometimes the momentum would change and say, well, you made a bad shot. Sean now has an 85% chance here. That was a brutal serve.
That was the second serve that he's hit in this second game, the exact same serve. Hard hook. And you tell yourself when you hit it, well, why don't you just do that every time?
That's all right.
And he comes back with a fault. But Dave, I think if you're a server, you'll take that, an ace and then a fault.
Yeah, I guess so.
If you could get 1 point per inning, I think you're going to be winning your matches. Wow, what a shot.
Can't believe how much the hop serve plays a role out here in this game.
Right.
I mean, it's more so than
2-1.
I think any other form of handball.
Short ball.
And you can see both players are going for those elite serves to get that 1 point that you're talking about, and you're seeing a lot of faults because of it. Also, this, even though it's cooler weather this weekend, they're trying to get these rallies over quick. They don't want to be out there and engage in these long.
Yeah.
Because as you saw earlier, Sean was dead for 3. After that long run that he had from left to right, he never scored again.
Right. That's a big reverse. Sean read that one, but Shorty's in the perfect spot, and he'll win the rally right here.
See, these are the long ones where Sean's now going to have to consider a timeout after this rally's over if he doesn't score.
Great serve.
Oof.
And that happens a lot, Dave, in this game where you hit such a great serve and you've provided your opponent with the angle.
2-2.
And they turn around and hit a better angle, win the rally with a shot. And Shorty's thinking to himself, I should be up 3-2. Now I'm receiving serve at 3-2.
3-2. Side out.
Talk about a cerebral play.
2-3. Point.
Interesting Tucson, Arizona connection here.
3-3.
Both announcers from Tucson. Our referee, Tucson, Sean Lenning,
point,
lives in Tucson.
Right.
And then you have Shorty Ruiz now living in Tucson, Arizona.
4-3.
Nice hook there. You can just see that shot almost makes it to the front wall as a return from Sean Lenning short. Another point now for Ruiz.
5-3.
Sean cutting off. Sean's going to have to call timeout, Dave, because walk around with his mouth open.
6, right, going right. Hold on. 6-3.
And Shorty now just pretty much doing
point,
whatever he wants.
7-3.
Wow.
Point.
Shorty is feasting on these short returns. They're not easy rekills.
8-3.
That he's making.
Point.
No timeout being called here.
9-3.
Kind of surprised. Nice serve, right on the line.
Side out.
Shorty knows that he missed that left corner
3-9.
out the side door shot. Man, that's tough to return. A deep hook. Yep. Shorty elects to take that with his right hand.
4-9.
Oh.
That's not what Sean wanted. He definitely was wanting to
Side
get
out.
this run going. No emotion from a Lenning here.
Wow.
You see the crowd cheering for Sean there, but earlier it seemed like they're more leaning toward Ruiz.
4-9.
I think they want to see good handball. And Sean goes for that
outside
wide ace, and that's his second consecutive fault. I believe that's 6 in this game, Dave, for Lenning.
9-4.
If not more. 9-4. That ball in, Dave?
It was. Sean's got a long run here, and he does it for nothing.
He's going to get this one too. Sean's not giving up. Now he's going to wish that he would have given up, because this is going to last for a couple points.
10-4.
10-4 going to 15. Shorty wins the first one. Here comes the timeout, Dave. Nope.
11-4. Point.
This is very similar to the match these two played in the 2012 final.
Outside.
First game was close and the second game wasn't.
Ruiz just a couple points away from leading that X-Fest leaderboard.
13-4.
it is, match point for Shorty Ruiz. Remember a few years ago, that celebration he had when he defeated Sean Lenning. I don't think you're going to see that here.
Match point, serving 4. Game, guys.
There it is, Shorty Ruiz, happy with himself there. Bringing down the yellow jersey, being congratulated by the fans. And Dave, what did you see here that you didn't think would happen?
Well, I think Sean's serve was a little bit inconsistent. Wasn't able to keep enough of those serves in the court. And Shorty played his serve a little bit safer. He played it more down the middle with a lot of hop and got short returns and was putting them away. Sean tried to shoot a couple of those returns, and Shorty was there with paddle re-kills. And Shorty really just got into a groove at about the 11-8 mark in that first game where Sean Lenning led. And it was all Shorty Ruiz from there. Really got hot there in the second game to extend that lead with a lot of great paddle kills with Sean stuck 42 feet behind him. And that win meant a lot to Shorty, who played exceptionally well this whole event. Didn't lose one game en route to this title.
Don't you find it somewhat interesting that we were talking about Shorty having a cold, not feeling very well, that his energy was down. Sean was leading at that time. And then the tables turned.
Right.
Now you see the smiles on Shorty's face. It doesn't look like he has any problem with his lungs. And he really just flipped a switch there and defeated Sean Lenning, one of the greatest outdoor players of all time. Both players still have and are leveraging themselves to win that X-Fest title, which is the highest points between 3 divisions. So they're both in the best position they can possibly be in. We'll have another match coming up right around the corner as we're going to take a break for David Fink. It was Shorty Ruiz winning and defeating Sean Lenning. My name is Dave Vincent. We'll be back with more streaming handball action here with WPHLive.TV.